So we are going to work on the age game. The age game is set up like this. We've got a few things going on here, and I'll save it. So this is exactly the project you're going to be working with. And age game uses something called Boolean logic. Boolean logic is named after a logician named Boolean, and he said that basically you can make decisions using if-then statements in computing. If blah blah blah, then blah blah blah. If this is true, then this happens. That's all of Boolean logic says. A Boolean statement is just an if then, right? So if I ever ask you what an if then statement is, you can say it's Boolean. If I ever ask you what a Boolean logic statement is, you can say it's if then. It's the same thing. Boolean is if then. Now, let's pull this apart. What happens is if I click, it says when green flag is clicked, if age is greater than 2, then say you don't need diapers for 2 seconds. So I'll click this here and I'll click you don't need diapers. Why did it say that? Because the age is set for 17. What if I take this age all the way down to 1? I'm going to grab the slider here and I'm going to go all the way down to 0. I'm going to click it. Nothing happened. Well, why did nothing happen? Because if the age is greater than 2, say you don't need diapers. Well, if this is 0, well, let's make it a 1, then of course it's not going to say anything because you didn't tell it to. But I'll set it for 14, and now it says you don't need diapers. It's pretty straightforward. Now, how did I make this mess? I'm going to take a second. I'm going to pull it apart so you know what's going on. I'm going to pull all this mess apart right in here. I'm going to see how this is made. So the first thing you're going to have an age variable right in here. And it can be put together with a logical operator. So operator is what it's evaluating. If blah, blah, blah is true, whatever we have in here, right now it's empty. So I went over here and I got my logical operators. And we're using, if you look closely, a greater than. I'm going to stick that greater than in there. You have greater than, you have less than, you have equals, you have ands, ors. You're going to learn how to use all of these. Right now it's if age is greater than 2, then you do something. So you go right in here, you put in greater than 2. And with that in place, if age is greater than 2, click it and you said you don't need diapers. If I slide it back down to, let's say, 1, it does nothing because age is not greater than 2. You have to, all by yourself, add if-then statements. Where do I get those? Over here under control, I've got all these if-then statements, right? We're going to put in more if-then statements. You can keep adding them to the bottom. In the if-then statements, if you're older than 15, you can drive because that's 16 years old. If you're older than 16, you can see an R-rated movie. So you have to do all of these. There's 7 of them, okay? You already have the first one. The first one's already in there, right? Then you have to do number 2, which is if age is less than 3. How do I know what the less than is here? Well, I wonder if there's a less than logic control in there. I bet you if you look, if this says greater than, I wonder what here says less than, right? And then you have to add one more condition. If something is equal to something, if something is greater than, less than, create one more age statement. So I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a total of 9 conditions. When it's done, you are going to share it and you're going to add it to a studio. The studio you're going to add it to is Studio 5A, and I haven't finished making that studio yet, but it's going to be Studio 5A 2.12, the age game. So 5A 2.12, the age game. That's what you're going to add it to, okay? When that's done, that's where it's going to go. All right, enjoy. Good luck. Thanks so much for watching.